All right, and we are live. Hello, my name is Raulf. I'm the founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. Welcome to the SEO Insider Podcast. I'm thrilled to have Gianluca and Robin of DesignRush with me. I'm quickly going to introduce you guys, and then I'll let you quickly say a few words yourself, since you know yourself best. I'm Chris Raulf. Today's guests are intimately familiar with the art and science of lead generation for agencies. Joining us first is Gianluca Ferruggia, General Manager at DesignRush. Gianluca brings over a decade of experience leading strategic marketing and growth initiatives in the B2B space, leveraging data-driven decisions and powerful industry partnerships. Gianluca, you recently published a really fascinating piece for Fast Company Executive Board, which is all about creating smarter agency lead generation strategies. Obviously, something I deal with as well as the head of an agency. Something we'll dive deep into today. Then also, we're also thrilled to have Robin Fishley, Search Director at DesignRush, joining our conversation. Robin, you have over 20 years of rich digital marketing and SEO experience, and you tackled SEO and online challenges at some of the most recognized agencies. Robin, you're passionate about breaking down complex marketing problems into efficient, approachable solutions. Gianluca, Robin, welcome to the podcast. You quickly want to add something about yourself, and to those that don't know what DesignRush is, what is DesignRush?
Yeah, first of all, Chris, thank you for having us here. This is a pleasure. And I also watched the podcast that you did with us, and it was really cool. So thank you for, coming to our podcast as well. Design Rush. Yeah, we're a B2B marketplace. We connect businesses with agencies. Our site helps agencies and brand like match, grow their businesses. We offer lead generation first, but also recognition and brand exposure, positioning agencies like based on their expertise, their rankings, their reviews. And yeah, we really close the gap between like of course the experts and businesses that have a little less expertise and they need like a guide to search and find the best agency partner.
Awesome. Robin, do you quickly want to say a quick word about yourself?
I've been doing SEO for 25 years. I've seen it all. And DesignRush, I must say, is probably one of the most dynamic places I've ever worked. Our SEO game is good, and we're pretty good at what we do.
And then, so from my perspective, I mean, I've been doing SEO for 30 years before Google was called Google. DesignRush is definitely one of those very important off-page optimization strategies that I believe any agency needs to implement for themselves, right? It's a piggyback platform where if you want to rank in Google, it takes time because of the power of DesignRush, the high domain authority. You can easily get into Google high up very fast. So I highly recommend DesignRush, and anybody who doesn't know the platform, check them out. So let's get into this podcast. Gianluca, so in your recent article for Fast Company, you argue that agencies don't necessarily need more leads. They need smarter, more strategic approaches to lead generation. Can you elaborate on why multi-channel visibility first approaches are critical today?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, there's one sentence that comes back to me from an SEO expert that I talked to a few years ago, where he told me, until I was just doing SEO, I would get like low to medium quality leads. When I started to sell my personal branding, that's where things have changed, and that all ties together, right? Like you're not gonna do SEO alone, or you're not just gonna try and work on your personal branding, because the idea is then that information on digital real estate is out there, right? And it helps make informed decisions on the partner that you're going to work with. So that was sort of the angle I wanted to go for, to explain that, it has to be like all around strategy, and everything connects together, because the business, will not just go and purchase, like, it's not just purchasing like a pair of shoes, right? So you need to do your own due diligence, your research. You need to see if you like the style of the agency, also their like communication, cultural fit, and to do all of that. Yeah, as an agency, for sure, you need to put yourself out there on multiple channels.
Awesome. Robin, do you want to add anything before I have a question for you?
No, I mean, Gianluca covered it pretty well. Just, yeah, diversification as well is super important. You can't rely on one channel, especially Google, because they're pretty fickle. So they change their rules every couple of months and boom, you're gone. So you need to
Yeah.
have multiple sources.
I mean, especially now in the era of generative AI tools, right? Other platforms are cutting into Google's market shares. I think diversification is more important than ever. All
Yeah,
right, awesome. Robin, based on your extensive experience with SEO, search engine optimization, and search trends, how is AI shifting the search landscape? And what must agencies do differently now to optimize their discoverability and lead generation?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of thoughts on this. Essentially, all that the AI generation is doing is raising the bottom of the field. So it's allowing people that couldn't really have a good game before to get up to scratch with everyone. So it just makes what you need to do as a business to attract more organic traffic is you've got to be better than everyone else. You've got to be the leading expert. You've got to have the expertise. You've got to provide the user experience to people, because I think one thing that the generative platforms don't have is good interfaces yet. So Google's got a good interface in their search environment, right? And if you're creating good interfaces to your content or your expertise and something that's really useful for the people, your content will get surfaced rather than just a chat answer. I don't think everyone just wants a regurgitated chat answer from a strange, like inanimate voice telling them what to do. People like to look and click and experience things. So we'll still have lots of, not lots, but visits to websites. You just need to have a better game than everyone else, I think. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's answered
absolutely. I mean, yeah, so I'm actually in Philadelphia right now, and I'm exactly talking about that, right? How AI is changing the digital landscape, search in general. So I think we haven't seen anything yet. So I'm actually excited to see where this is going with AI and search.
It's going to be an
All
interesting
right.
few years. I'm sure of that. We're going to see a lot of
Oh,
innovation in the space, a lot of
yeah,
interesting search. Because now anyone can enter the game. You don't need a huge rack of computers in a warehouse in Kansas that Google has. You don't need that anymore. You can use a model. You can generate it quite quickly. And there's loads of search indexes out there. Majestic's got a pretty good search index. You can just tap into that, generate your own search engine using an LLM. It's going to diversify the landscape a bit. And once ChatGPT gets their act together and gets a proper search interface, then we'll see some competition.
Yeah.
absolutely. And so I just signed up for Perplexity's new search engine that is in development right now. So I'm excited to see, what's going to happen to Google, how they're going to try to defend their turf, and obviously how search is changing over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I
All
think it's a
right.
little bit ironic that Google invented the generator, and it's
Yeah.
their paper, "Attention is all you need," that launched this entire new category, and they didn't do anything with it, and they had it in their back pocket for 5 years, and they just used it on internal systems rather than going public early on like ChatGPT did.
Yeah, I mean, so they open source their transformer technology, which is the underlying technology of, OpenAI, ChatGPT, etc. So I was actually very surprised when Google was caught off guard in November of 2022, when finally the first usable Gen AI tool was launched. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen over the next couple of years. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Gianluca, so you mentioned third-party validation, directories, awards, and rankings as essential to trust building. How can agencies such as Boulders Marketing effectively utilize platforms like DesignRush to boost credibility and generate high-quality leads? That's what we want, right? I don't want to talk to a non-qualified lead. How do we get high qualified leads?
Yeah, 100%. So first of all, you do need to be on trusted platforms. That is important. Like we focus our expertise is in that matchmaking process, right? And understanding like the business needs, the agency's expertise, how they're looking to have like a qualified lead, right? Like what criteria they're using to qualify the lead, and so we can really bridge that gap, and the leads that we can bring to the agency, we bring to the agencies, we know they on average are more qualified than other type of leads that you could generate even through like PPC or other means, right? That is also because we at DesignRush we didn't want to focus on the directory itself, but we wanted to bring resources that actually help the industry and help us create this community where like the same industry experts can meet, right? The brands can come and discover. For example, one interesting topic that we cover often on our podcast as well is like the mistakes not to make when hiring an agency, or like how to choose the right agency, right? Going really deep into details, like breaking it down into industry, into different expertises and services, really help us as experts helping both agencies and brands, and the brands that come to our site see that there is an expertise behind. So whenever we're like featuring agencies, like we do it like knowing that we can trust the agencies that they are at the top of the ZBrush.
Yeah, so I was actually also on your podcast, so thank you very much for having me. And I'm a big fan of your podcast. I actually listen to many, many of the podcasts that you publish. You really have high quality speakers there, and I really enjoy listening to them. They provide high quality information. I think that's in line with EEAT expertise, experience, authoritativeness, trustworthiness is so important these days. It's one of the most important ranking signals. So I think you guys are doing an exceptional good job putting out high quality content for anybody interested in SEO, digital marketing, and wanting to rank. Robin, any thoughts on EEAT building, domain authority, and that topic?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that praise. It's appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I do. So I think people kind of forget that their brand needs visibility, and in order to gain trust, you need to be engaged with first. So people need to be able to see you. They need to see what you are. They need to see your brand. I think brand building in the agency world is quite tricky because agencies tend to change their focus every couple of years. Oh, no, I'm not a link building agency. I'm a AI optimization agency, and we're going to rebrand. So it's very hard to build that trust. And I think the purpose of platforms like DesignRush is that we give you all the tools that enable you to build that trust. So you want to see what people are saying about you. You want to read reviews. You want to see case studies. We've recently launched a new portfolio section on our website, so agencies can upload case studies. They can upload their best web designs, and that stuff is ranking in Google. So it's getting you that extra exposure. And if you want people to trust you, just show them what you've done. Examples of your work is probably, it's like probably the best way to sell yourself because it encapsulates everything that you are. Perfection, getting everything right, worrying about all the little details. Those things are all help build your authority and your trust.
I I couldn't agree more. So we're actually now trying to publish one case study a week. We're signing on a lot of new clients, right? And it's actually fairly easy to create and publish case studies. So I completely agree with you, Robin. Robin, regarding SEO strategies, what specific actions or content like case studies should agencies focus on today to ensure discoverability on Google and within emerging AI platforms and tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd like to.
I couldn't agree more. Gianluca?
Yeah, sure. So the thing is that a lot of agencies on DesignRush are mid-sized agencies, right? And like sometimes you don't have that night sort of project, right? But you might have that healthcare company that just closed like a $2 million deal with you, right? Like for the next years. So that is that is what is important to celebrate, right? Also because you go after an industry, you go after a big deal like that. Where do you announce that? Where do you talk about that, right? Like that's what is important, and that's why, as you mentioned, like having a case study per week, having credibility, like Robin said, on what to post. All of this, it's really important. You need to have a platform for it.
Yeah, uh, I think my company, we excel at creating these case studies now, but believe me, it was a process, right? We had to document everything. We have to hire the right kind of people. But now we're cranking out these high quality case studies on a regular basis, and it's getting me more clients. In a platform like DesignRush, what an amazing opportunity, right, to showcase your wins and highlights to the world out there. All right, cool. Gianluca, so lead generation costs for agencies can be significant, sometimes exceeding $1,000 per lead. What practical strategies or best practices do you recommend for controlling or optimizing lead costs without sacrificing quality?
Yeah, sure. So of course, yes, prices can be very high for qualified lead, very high. Of course, it depends on what lead you land, right? Like if it's a $2 million project, like $1,000 for a lead is not that expensive after all. Um, what is important is definitely like understanding your market, right? Where is like your geographical area that you're working on. For example, these prices that we talked about is for US qualified leads, right? Where like there are different prices compared to other regions of the world. Um, what it's also, we have analyzed both our SEO and paid campaigns to compare this cost per lead, and it is that because a click for web design agencies goes to about $16 per click, right, in the US. So it's quite expensive. So the first thing I would say is that if you are a legit business, if you're a legit agency, to scale, you will have to invest money, right? I mean, that's an obvious statement, but it is true. Um, if you don't have like X amount of money to spend on a qualified lead, then like you need to sort of review your business model and understand what is that you're trying to achieve, what your goals are, right? Like you might just want to freelance, which is a different thing from having like a serious agency, right? And yeah, in terms of other channels, like imagine if you have a big brand, maybe you have a media site, I don't know, the CNBC is looking at you, it looks at your brand, it's seeing you on platforms, it's seeing you advertising on different channels and all of that. eventually we go back to the same point that it's important to be granular with your visibility, and that's how you land qualified leads, right? So first of all, what we can help is filtering out, because of course we rank after commercial keywords like web design agencies, digital marketing agencies, software, e-commerce, branding, etc. That helps you categorizing what you're looking for and helping you like create that opportunity. Then later you need to do your work, right? And what is important as well, I've seen too many times agency missing, is listening to the request, right? For example, I saw a case where like a brand was looking for examples of e-commerce work, e-commerce development work, and some other examples of more like informational websites were showcased to the client or to the potential client. Yeah, these little details are everything, right? So like it's important to listen and to stay on topic, and to show that relevant expertise.
Awesome. Actually, so last question to round this up, and you already sort of addressed it a little bit, both of you. What common mistakes are you currently seeing agencies make, and how can these mistakes be avoided so agencies scale smartly instead of just loudly? Swim in your lane and kiss. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Gianluca, any last advice for our audience?
Yeah, first, I love the messaging part because that's what we bang on constantly. Like messaging to be clear and easy to understand is really important. And on that note, then yeah, I would call it, even though it's for brand, it's branding, it's personal branding, or putting a face first, like you do right with your SEO company, and then like branding the company. It's sort of like a mirror effect, right? Of who you are, it's the company as well. So that's very important. And then you need to promote that, right? Because that's the world we live in. So yeah.
And I mean, I couldn't agree more, especially a small agency like mine. We're about 20 people, right? People want to talk to me. So we tried, have a sales team, etc. Did not work. People want to talk with me. So I think you're spot on. Great advice. With that being said, yeah. Hey guys, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your knowledge. Maybe we can regroup in a couple of years or a year from now, see how DesignRush has evolved. All the information below in the description field of the YouTube video. Gianluca and Robin, thank you so much. I had a blast. We'll talk hopefully soon again.
Thank you, Chris. This was lovely.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank you.
guys. Bye.
Bye bye.